Check, check. Check, 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 check. Yo, check, check. You know what it is. Home Inc. TV, hustlers on a mission every day. Everyday shit media. We in the lit house. Welcome back to the lit house. Let the light within you shine bright. You feel me? Straight like that. Hey, sponsored by dividendsapparel.com. Whatever you do, make sure you do it. Capital. Create a positive impact today and later. Fuck them haters. Get your paper. Straight like that. Hey, and never forget, real niggas do what they want to do. Bitch niggas do what they can. Hoe ass niggas gonna talk about it, and fuck niggas gonna hate regardless. I promise you that. Hey, shit, we just gonna get into this right here. Part 2 of the real nigga reaction of Dr. Umar, a live event with the It's Up the podcast. Your boy Loon. Shout out to Loon for making this happen. You know, we just creating a positive impact today and later. Open discussions and, you know what I'm saying, sharing the knowledge, and therefore that of, you know, so without any further ado, we're just gonna get into it like this. Jumped off. Yeah, as you can see, I gotta re-up on some shit. I gotta pay some shit. So, but we gonna handle that later. Let me pull this on up right here. And we're gonna do it like this. A little something like this. A little something
Seemed like
this.
the talking just subsided.
Yes.
Just kind of went away.
Yes.
Have you, I mean, the documentary era was a boom for y'all. You still get paid for any of those things?
Nah, I've never produced my own documentary, and the ones that I was in, I never really made anything off of those.
That's what I was talking to you back, utilizing your own packaging for you, because your brand is so big. Like, everyone knows you. You're one of the most popular black people in the world, but it's the packaging. That's why people can come and package you and sell it.
Yeah.
Right? People can come and say, yo, I'm going to get Dr. Umar on my DVD, and I'm going to go get a bag.
Yeah.
But Dr. Umar should be able to put that DVD together with that voice.
And to your point, I definitely think I've lost out financially by being so giving. But at the same time, I would not do anything different, because I don't think we get that school built if people didn't know my heart was real. I don't think I would be as popular as I am globally if people didn't know my heart was real. So I don't regret any of it. You know, even now, people say, hey, you got to redirect your content on YouTube. You got about 5 different pages misrepresenting themselves as you, making money off of you. And we will get to that. But at the same time, that's how people came to know who I was, by people posting the content. So
you got to lose a little bit to get a little bit.
You got to lose, yes.
Just like Dion.
Yes. That ain't got nothing to do.
Let me do what he be doing.
Cut it out.
No, but I don't know. It just wrapped back around to that. But seriously, you know, you have to lose a little bit to get a little bit. You were in content wars with a lot of guys.
Yeah.
What was that era like for you?
I had a beef every year around Christmas. It was always
try to pay the YouTube bill, try to get the YouTube check.
That's what I didn't realize.
Yeah.
So my supporters said, stop responding, because if you notice, they always attack you around Christmas so they can get their views up and get that Christmas money to buy their woke kids some white Jesus gifts. But it was always, see, when I came into the conscious community, right, I came unexpectedly. I didn't know I was about to blow. I just blew. I didn't know nothing about it. I thought I would just be a psychologist for the rest of my life, doing my Pan-Africanism, but I never knew I would become this, right? So when I blew up, there were people who had their niches. You had people who had the mental health niche, the black consciousness niche, the Pan-African niche, the economics niche. And me, I do them all. So a lot of people felt like I was stepping on their toes, especially the younger guys. And so they would attack me every Christmas. And because I'm King Kong consciousness, I had to, beat my chest a little bit and let them know I'm from the hood too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
when do you stop that? Like, because for me right now,
when I realized they were doing it on purpose to make money, it wasn't even genuine beef. It was strategic beef to get his response, to get his listeners.
Yeah,
so now I don't even respond because I know.
Right. Now, here's the thing. When you have a legitimate issue with someone, like you do sometimes, when you speak on things that's really near and dear, like this is what I'm seeing, right or wrong, this is what I'm seeing. People can frame that in that way. So how do we keep it from, how do you keep the authenticity of, like, when I say something about Shannon, it ain't the same thing that they was doing to me, right? It ain't that messy trying to steal the audience, trying to steal, get visibility, clout chasing.
It's very different. Because like when we spoke about Deion Sanders, I made it clear I respect him as a brother. He's one of my greatest football players. When we spoke about Shannon, I said, I think Shannon is a good brother, a marvelous human being. You know what I mean? So my thing is, I'm going to still big you up as my brother and just express my difference. When they came at me in a conscious community, they said he's a scammer. He's stealing the fundraiser money. He's tricking it off in Europe, South Africa, Nigeria. Then they said I didn't have no degrees, right?
Calling around.
He made up all the degrees. He ain't related to Frederick Douglass. I mean, anything you could think of, they were trying to assassinate my character completely. So it's completely different.
Is there a worthy opponent out there? Not calling names, but I'm saying, are there things for you to, I will respond to that. Like,
so Scotty-O's conference ascend. It gives us an opportunity to see what's coming with Scotty-O.
One of the things that's really important to public safety is drones as a first responder.
So we have drones throughout the city every day of the week on all shifts.
Our big thing is situational awareness for fire scenes. We have a drone in the area now.
This is going to be one of the big trend setters in the future of law enforcement.
And that's dividendsapparel.com. Remember, whatever you do, make sure you do it capital. Create a positive impact today and later.
I mean, if somebody says something that I think needs to be clarified for my supporters and the school donors, then I'll clarify it, no matter where it comes from.
That's the thing, because it's the brand recognition and awareness that they tamper with, right? They tamper with what people know you for. And then that's why I'm talking to you about this, because for me, being in the podcast space and moving so quick, I find myself in content wars, right? With people, I'm like, yo, you dudes ain't built nothing, ain't done no business. And I'm watching, as you say, I'm watching these shots coming. I'm saying, it's almost like I'm watching the authenticity melt. It's like these dudes don't know me and they saying, what's happening? And I've came in and got rich from talking. So it's not something that's for debate. You know what I'm saying? And I'm building something, the conversations I have, people honestly enjoying this information based. Today we kicking it, but it's information inside of every episode. I feel as though podcasts are almost like encyclopedias. You should be able to go and grab an episode at any moment and get something from that. I feel as though things are transitioning. All information will live in some sort of audio form. Right? And so I'm racing to that. But when I see myself in content wars with dudes who ain't built anything, but they brand tampering. So it's almost like, it's like, damn, when do I really just go? Or when do I just say this? Let's let them talk, keep building.
From my experience, it's best to let it go. You gain nothing by going to war with a smaller fish. You gain nothing by going to war with a smaller fish. And I had to learn that.
What about a bigger fish? Because I got big fish I got big fish I'm going at it with. Let me hold on, because they'll take that and say I gave them props. So let me rephrase that. I got people, seasoned fish. I got seasoned fish that's after me.
See, even if you got a seasoned fish, if you look at it from the art of war, what will this cost you in the long run is what you got to look at. Because that seasoned fish might want to go back and forth with you all the time. And you're not looking for a long-term beef. But if you drop out too soon, it'll look like you caved to the pressure. So you have to do a thorough.
And once again, the art of war will assist you with a number of situations throughout your life. The book Art of War is a book about war and how basically, but a lot of stuff can be translated into life every day, living in your conflicts with individuals throughout your life. So yeah, I recommend The Art of War, The Art of Seduction, and it's another financial book right now. It slipped my mind. I can't think of the name. I can't remember the name right now.
Thorough analysis of how long they're going to draw this
Fuck
out,
with them.
how deep they're going to go with it, and do I even want to entertain
And you ain't even
it
got
at
to
all?
read books. You can listen to books. You don't even have to read books to get the information. You can listen to books over and over. Like you be listening to music. Listening to music, you can listen to a book, bitch. You ain't got to read. You can listen to it and get some type of knowledge. Facts.
I used to look at your lives and say, I wonder I thought you was conscious. But see, the more I talk to you, I know that you don't know the money that's floating around out there. When I'm sitting back there talking to you like, yo, dude, you know, you got 6-7 pages. They doing $1 million a day. Like this is thousands of dollars on
People
a daily
stop
basis.
me in the airport all the time and say, you leaving too much money on the table.
Yeah, and so when I look at you, at first I said, yo, these lives are like lost leaders for him. Almost like at Costco's, they keep the hot dog 150, even though they losing on the hot dog. It's like, I know when you come here, you're going to get enough to want to see what's behind the curtain or in the rest of the store. And so at first I thought you were using those more like marketing, but when I talk to you,
like
and it's,
teasers.
yeah, like teasers, like, yo, this a little bit, come get it.
Nah, I never did it for the money.
Man.
Like even now when I go live, I got to feel it. My lives ain't even scheduled. Just like, you know what? Eric and Mina caught our sister a blue monkey. Oh, hell no. I was in Brussels, Belgium. I had to go live on that because that touched me. You know,
what is your thought about that? Let's talk about that.
It speaks to the light-skin supremacy complex that we still have in the Black community. And by light-skin supremacy, I don't mean light-skinned people, because you could be a dark-skinned, light-skinned supremacist.
Just a little more, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I know dark-skinned purple blacks who don't want nobody around them except yellow people. You see that? So you could be a light-skinned supremacist and not be light-skinned. So it's not about light-skinned people. That has nothing to do with it. It's a consciousness, you see. And I thought it was wrong. It was bad. I'm glad they fired her for it. She apologized, but the apology to me seemed a little bit disingenuous and almost like a smack itself. It was kind of I didn't like the apology. I don't think it was humble at all, but that's the issue. We got colorism. I think Black women have it worse than Black men within the queendom. So we as Black men, we don't really look at each other's complexion when we hanging out. You feel me? We don't care, brother.
Right.
But with the sisters, I've noticed, sisters will look at the complexion of the women in their circle. You see? And the women in the circle who may not be the complexion they want can feel that get away from us energy. And that could be a dark-skinned circle or a light-skinned circle. Because even though light-skinned supremacy is more prevalent, you have dark-skinned supremacists who hate light-skinned people, right? So it goes both ways, although there's more light-skinned supremacy than dark-skinned supremacy. And it's one of those evils, one of those psychological residuals from the plantation that I don't think we've really stepped on yet. And I don't think elders have really accepted the role they've played in the maintenance of skin color worship. Because I still come across grandparents who make comments about dark skin. I've seen grandparents show favoritism, even in my own family, to the darkers versus the lighters, or the lighters versus the darkers. I've seen it. You know, I've seen how aunts and uncles will favor the light skin and the dark skin. I see it in the public schools. And of course, the educational research shows us teachers pay more attention to the children in the class who are lighter. And so you could go in some schools.
Hold on, say that again.
Teachers pay more attention to the children in their classroom unconsciously who are lighter. The darker kids get less attention. There's been research done, and it has consistently, You could go to an emotional support class and go to the mentally gifted class. The emotional support class tends to be a few shades darker, and the mentally gifted class tends to be a few shades lighter. Because guess what? If you dark, we're not even testing you for mentally gifted.
Why are you doing this? Because you let us.
Hey, you made it!
To new friends.
You don't think it's weird for a doctor to live in a house like this?
I'm not a doctor.
But didn't you say you were?
It's a very strong, and because most teachers in America are white women, that means when a black boy walks, dark-skinned black boy, when he walk into the class, he's already been condemned from the start.
Yeah, and I've seen this.
Yeah.
This is,
and this shit fucked up because I was mathematically gifted at 5, right? Like I already knew my times tables, division, all that shit at 5. Why the fuck wouldn't I be in a fucking mathematically gifted class or given a test for that shit? You feel me? I felt like I was supposed to graduate 2 years earlier than when I actually graduated.
It's a real thing.
Yes.
The dark-skinned, nappy-head boy.
Big nose.
Oh,
big,
man, he go through hell.
Yes.
Yeah. I've seen this
He
is
only
a
good for
real
sport.
thing.
Yes. He only good for
They
sports.
think he's, yes.
He
He got to be a hell of a guy in sports.
Yes.
Or they going to say he's
Or
dangerous.
he's done.
Yeah,
if you
he's too
can't
much.
catch this ball or shoot that shot,
It's over.
you're useless here.
Wow.
And that's why so many children go into sports, the black boys. It ain't because they necessarily want to be an athlete. This is the only way I'm going to survive or get recognized here because I'm clearly not wanted because of the way I look.
And from the parents. A lot of times the sport thing drives the parent closer to you because it's like they're living through you in some weird way where they want you to play and you ain't saw your daddy. Your daddy don't clock in about none.
And I just spoke to a mother the other day who told me her son is only in sports and he's good, but he don't even like sports. This the other day. My son is only in sports, Dr. Umar, because his father only pays attention to him through sports. You see that? So the father only showing up if it's a football game, basketball. It's the only way he can get his father's attention. And so a lot of black boys are going into sports because their father likes sports, and this is the only way they can hook their attention.
And I wonder why. I mean, why do you think black men do that? Like they live vicariously through their children in that way, like in the pathway, not just. Like you look like me, Junior.
Right.
Like they actually say, no, go do what I couldn't do.
Yeah.
Like what is
some
that
of
about?
It is natural. It's natural, right? I own a business. I want my son to own one. It's natural. But
if my business,
it can become pathological.
Right. But my before you go, because I know you finna smoke that. But my business, for it to even make it that far to be passed to my son, had to been successful. So passing down something successful is one thing, but to pass down my failure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And if you don't redeem me, the child feels twice as bad because not only did I fail on the football field, my daddy needed me to win in order to salvage his self-esteem. So now the child feels twice as low because not only did I fail, my daddy needed me to win this so he could validate himself.
Man, and they put so much in it.
And that leads to the marijuana smoking, the blunts. You see that? I let my daddy, even though my daddy might be saying, son, don't worry about it. You gave it your best. I know you needed this Vic. Now I'm feeling less than.
Wow.
Now we both feel like we ain't.
The females, the women don't go through that, do they? Do they have a version of that? Like
they have a version, but it's not as strong because the ego.
The mother
of the man,
model, maybe the model mother, maybe the dancing mother. I've seen the dancing mother, like where
it's there, but it's there. It's not as strong because the ego of the male ego is stronger than the female, right? But here's where it gets interesting with our sisters. It's kind of the opposite sometimes, where the father needs the son to succeed because he didn't. The mother wants the daughter to fail because she didn't win.
So stay like me.
Stay like me. So I see a situation where the mothers are sabotaging the daughters on purpose.
And I go a step further and say the mothers be sabotaging just their kids. It don't got to be their fucking daughters. They sabotaging their sons too. They sabotaging their nieces. They sabotaging a lot of them. They sabotage it. I promise you, boy. You think about that shit, boy. You think you helping someone, man? The motherfucker been sabotaging you the whole fucking time while you think you help somebody.
They love them. They want them to do well, but they're having a difficult time
your own fucking mama sabotage you,
accepting the fact that when this is all said and done, she would have exceeded me.
Yeah. And I think that's powerful.
Oh, we got a deep-seated mommy-daughter.
That's powerful.
A deep-seated mommy-daughter.
We cooking now, Umar. We cook.
You got a deep-seated mommy-daughter. And I tell you one of the worst ones. Let's go back to the light skin supremacy. When the mother is of a lighter hue and she values European standards of beauty.
Mom sabotage her motherfucking son because she don't motherfucking fuck with the nigga daddy. Because she mad at the nigga daddy. Bitches ain't.
So she got the fine nose, the fine lips, the yellow skin, the wavy hair.
Therapy session around this
but
bitch.
the daughter has very strong African-centered features. And she knows that the mother believes beauty is in the way she looks. So by contraindication, I'm ugly. And then the mother never does anything.
These is nonverbal. I need people to catch that.
Nonverbal.
That's by indication.
Just through the example, the energy. Yes.
By the standard that's put
She
here.
going out with her mom, and her mom is all Europeaned up.
That's
big
it.
nose, broad lips, beautiful sister.
Yeah.
But she can't see her beauty.
Right.
Because she's judging herself by her mother's standards, which are European.
Right. Continue. I'm sorry about that.
See, I've seen a lot of girls' self-esteem get destroyed by their mother, never validating their African-centered traits.
And then the mother I've seen, and again, we're not being critical. We're examining.
Yes, because these are major issues.
And we have to speak about these.
Yes.
So when we did, I've seen, because cosmetic surgery is big, and we're gonna speak about that. But I've seen where the mother sometimes, because we dealt with the man side, so I'm just trying to figure out where the women, if they're battling this and where it lies at. But I have seen where the mother would take herself through a round or two of cosmetic surgery, and by indicators that wears on the child as well.
Oh my gosh.
You know, the child said, "Oh, mama thick."
Yes.
And so I ain't thick. I must not be, kicking as high as she is, or being, as beautiful as she is.
If the mother is going to get surgery of any kind, whether it's the BBL, whether it's facial reconstruction, whatever it is, breasts, she got to have a conversation with her daughters about why. Because if she don't, the daughters are automatically going to assume.
Get in line.
Get in line. You were not comfortable with yourself. I'm your daughter. I looked exactly how you looked before you underwent.
Because you don't even look like me no more. When you go get all that work and come back home, man, we used to look just alike.
Which means what? It is a rejection. It is a rejection of your phenotype.
Living with opioid addiction can be a struggle, trapped in a cycle of opioid use, withdrawal, and craving.
And in rejecting your phenotype, you reject your children. Oh, is that?
Now, I do want to be clear to you, though.
Go ahead.
I can appreciate the BBL now.
I can't. And I'm going to tell you why. It don't bounce.
Nah, you talking about the cheap one. See, you talking about the cheap BBL, Dr. Umar. And how you know it don't bounce, first of all? How the hell you know it don't bounce? King Kong Kanye?
I'm King Kong. But listen. Ladies, listen to me, sisters. Please don't do it. It looks
Hold
good.
on now. We got to search. Whoa.
No.
We got two different.
No. It look good in the clothes. And it might even look good out of the clothes, but it does not move organically. A man can tell the difference. A man can tell the difference whether you fake in the front or fake in the back. We can tell the difference because the bounce ain't the same.
Hey, listen.
The bounces at all.
It's the quality of the BBL you experience. So we're dealing with a guy.
Stay natural.
We're dealing with a guy who has experienced a horrible BBL. So y'all are getting the side of the story that's not accurate. I'm explaining to you.
Don't
that,
do it, ladies.
Listen, and so I don't know where you pulled this one from, but I would say get another shot at that, Umar. You're wrong about that.
I'm all natural.
You're all natural now. So I have saw you with Suki though. Right? So shout out to my sister Suki. Shout out Sexy Red. We gonna talk to all y'all. About all y'all. Yeah. I saw you with Suki on.
Yeah, Sister Suki and I, we're friends. We conversate on different topics. See, here's my thing. As conscious as we are, we can't be so self-righteous that we can't go to where someone else is and try to move them from where they are to where we need them to be. I'm not the pastor who condemns everyone in the neighborhood and never get them to join the church. You see that? You have to meet them. She's a very influential woman.
Yes.
If one day she decided to come on over to the consciousness movement, everybody who follows her comes right on with her. And that's the day that I'm looking at. You see what I'm saying? So me, I communicate with anybody. And that's one of the strengths of Dr. Umar. They're not going to feel condemned right? I'll get a brother with a white wife. He'll come over, Doc, I know you see what I got.
He said it like it's a bad sandwich or something.
You know what I mean?
No, you see what I ordered, bro.
No, they say, but can we still have, of course, have a seat, my brother? Because guess what? If I cut him off, he'll never go back to a sister. But if I stay with him, I don't even have to talk about his white wife because I'm not going to disrespect her. She's still a human being. But by allowing him in my space, he's going to start reanalyzing that anyway. And then one day he comes back with a beautiful black queen. Doc, I couldn't do it no more.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So I've noticed in my work through the years, just exposing people to what's right can lead to a change in behavior. I remember back in my Garvey days, right? And of course, I'm still a Garveyite, but back in North Philadelphia, we got Temple University down the street, University of Pennsylvania, Drexel. And the students would come to the Garvey meeting and they would say, Marcus Garvey said, race first, put the race first. I can't do that. I love everybody. I said, it's not about not loving other people. It's about loving yourself first. Well, I can't do that. No problem. Just come to the study group. I didn't pressure them kids. And guess what? They slowly, one by one, started joining on their own. Just walk, I'm ready to sign up. I didn't do nothing. Just expose them to the truth. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I will meet with anybody. I will go anywhere. Just like Christ said in the Bible. I'm not comparing myself to Christ. When they say, Master, would you go into the house of a thief? And he said, I go anywhere where I'm invited. That's how Dr. Umar is. I'll go anywhere I'm invited because I know that when you are presented with the truth, your soul responds to it. And sooner or later, you're going to have to come around as well because we as African people, we are God's chosen people. And therefore, we are structured to participate in righteousness no matter what. You see what I'm saying? So when somebody holds up that mirror of righteousness to you, sooner or later, you're going to have to consider it because that's your nature anyway.
You know what? And I think, like I say, man, you're great at this. You're definitely great at this. But we didn't get an answer about Suki. We talked about a lot. You took me around the corner.
I told you we friends. We talk.
Right. But okay, so because see, we coming off the BBL conversation. Right. We're coming off how you are not interested in BBL whatsoever. And I don't know if the sister has. Well, actually,
I've never seen her that way. We platonics.
Right. But again, I'm telling you that the circumstances are the circumstances, unknown or known, right? And so by you being someone who is that strong about BBLs, right? I'll ask you about Suki. And I'm just telling you how we kind of got to her anyway, because I don't want it to seem like it's just.
I never asked. Right. And I wouldn't.
Right. Okay.
I don't think it's my place.
Right. Yeah. Now, but you've heard some of the things she's said about you, right?
Yes.
All right. So meeting someone with a BBL that said some of those things about you, meaning that she finds you attractive. She, certain things that she. So I'm saying the meetup. I mean, help me understand what's going on there.
The meetups are professional and platonic.
With a woman that calls you attractive with a BBL.
Professional and platonic.
Okay, shut up. I'll leave it at that. Shout out to Suki.
Shout out to
Suki. With do you know Sexy Red? Familiar with Sexy Red?
I've seen her recently. I never heard of her before.
You familiar with her content?
I've heard the kind of. I've never heard her rap though. I haven't seen a video.
That's some of the content, and I got her coming on soon, so I don't want to,
right.
slander her at all. But it's just I was having that conversation about female rap and how, in my opinion, they're kind of mimicking what they saw the men do in gangster rap.
I agree with you.
I don't think that they necessarily created this path. Oftentimes, I see them promote a lifestyle that they don't even adopt.
Yes.
And it's dangerous, but it's dangerous the same way the men done it. And I believe the men really led those women into creating that kind of content.
I totally agree with you. But the men were never held accountable for it.
Right.
The women are being held. It's the double standard.
Right. And the women, again, sometimes they get with these guys, right? And it's like, and this is why I try to give grace on the content, but I know it's effective in regards to it's programming minds. I know that, but I try to sometimes, because I always try to put myself in someone's shoes like I did with Dion. It's like, see out of their lens, right? See out of a young girl like Sexy Red with 2 kids, 2 baby daddies, they both in jail, and I know how to rap. And I started rapping like this, and it started going. do I turn that off when I have nothing to fall back on? Like, how many people will actually, at 24 years old, start getting 100,000 a show, 60,000 a show, and just turn that off? Even if I know I'm not necessarily adopting that lifestyle, but it's effective for the family. And I think so many of us live in that place. You do. We all, that's why I try to give grace, right? I don't exempt anyone, but I try to understand the route they're taking. That's why when I look at a Dion, it's like, not a finished product. I think that we're on a journey, and Colorado is just on that list of getting where I'm going. And the same with Sexy Red. It's like you get in that position, turn this on, and it works. I got children. What do I do? What would you say to a young girl that's rapping that kind of content? How does she get out of that?
I don't think my message would be to the young girl rapping the content. I think my message would be to the Black community that gave rise to the circumstances that put her.
What if I told you that instead of setting up a green screen, you can just click a button into Script and get the same exact effect? So I have my project here, and
her in a position where she had to sing that content. I think one of the things we often miss when we talk about accountability, responsibility, is that we fail to recognize that everything we do takes place within a culture. It takes place within a community. And too often, because we are a disorganized, selfish group of people, we like to make individuals the scapegoat for systemic problems. You see that? Whether it's Sexy Red, whether it's Sister Suki Hana, whether it's the gangster rapper, everything takes place within a cultural context, right? So what situation was she born in? What situation were her parents born in? What did the Black church do for her mother? What did the Black politicians do for her mother? What did the Black community organizers do for her mother?
What can they do?
Well, number one, if it wasn't for the economic desperation, a lot of our young people will be making better decisions.
That's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm making. Yeah. It's like, yo, this thing working.
Yeah.
And
she should have never had to go there. The reason she had to go there is she belongs to a community, the Black community, that does not feel the need to use its disposable income to create financial opportunities for its young people. Go to the streets right now. Our young people are terrorizing our community. And it's our fault because we have not created any opportunities for them. You let me go to a school that miseducate me. I get special educated. I get medicated. I get juvenile adjudicated. I get incarcerated, right? I get gang initiated, right? I get raped. I get molested. I got put out on the street by my mom, whatever the case may be. And now all that pain that the community allowed me to feel, I'm going to give it back to the community. And now you got 11-year-olds robbing 84-year-olds at the ATM. That video that came out last week, it made me want to cry. He looked like he was 9 years old, robbing someone old enough to be his great-grandmother. But when we allow our children to be raised by social media, when we allow our children to be raised by the television and not raising them ourselves. I mean, think about it. If you're a Black child in Nashville, you're a Black child in Chattanooga, you're a Black child in Knoxville, Memphis, where can you go if you really need an adult to spend some time with you? There's nowhere to go. You can go to church, but you got to swallow their doctrine before they value you first. Y'all see how that works? You're not important in this church until you swallow this doctrine. So where can a Black child go in America if they need an adult to spend some time with them? You see that? But the pimp will spend some time with me. The drug dealer spend some time with me. They're going to use me and exploit me, but they're going to spend some time with me. We have turned our backs on our children. We have not raised them. We have not nurtured them. And now the Black community is collecting the karmic debt that has come from our neglect of our children.
Is
schools and jobs. Build our own schools for our children and create jobs for them. If we never do those two things, we never get our young people back.
Is your school going to be credited in the state?
Yes. Well, remember now, accreditation is voluntary. State law gives you the right to operate. So the state approves you to operate. If you want to get accredited, that's voluntary.
The credited process isn't that what speaks to the workforce?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
Because you got to remember, you got children who are homeschooled to college. They never been to a school at all. You see what I'm saying?
Even in college? You can homeschool college?
No. Homeschooled into college. In other words, my child is applying
same difference. Okay, I see what you're saying.
So
you plug in the FDMG instead of the homeschooling, it'll be like the same process.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Except we're a real school versus a
right,
homeschool.
right.
Homeschool is a decentralized form of education. It's not the equivalent of private school, charter school, public school. You see, it's homeschooling. It's more of an activity than an institution, you see. But accreditation is voluntary. So if I wanted to go to Delaware State Accreditation Bureau, I could have them come in, look at all our paperwork, curriculum, teaching, boom, 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 and they would decide if they want to accredit us or not. Now, for me as a Pan-Africanist, I would never do that because I don't need white people to tell me how to teach black kids. So I'll never be doing that, right? If the state required it, we would do it. You feel me? But I would not voluntarily go to white people and ask them, how well am I doing teaching black kids?
How much of your money from fundraising do you think came from white people? Any?
$0.
$0.
Yeah, there might have been a couple anonymous white folks who sent $1 or $2, probably, right? But am I consciously aware of receiving a donation from a white person? No.
So, this is good. So, a white person can't give you $5 million, say, Dr. Umar, I've been a fan of you since 2012. I see what you got going on. Go get that school done, brother. White man. I'm talking about whitest of the white.
I don't think I could take it.
Okay, so the mission ain't that important then.
No, it is.
How important is the mission when you can't take the money? I didn't speak to any stipulations tied to it. I said this will get your school up and running tomorrow, and you denied it.
And the mistake you just made is you said a white person is going to give Dr. Umar $5 million with no stipulations.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
who in this auditorium believes that?
No, listen. How is that worth clapping?
White people don't give that kind of money without no stipulations.
White people, we know
they don't give that kind of
Umar, honestly, let's talk about that. But what's that worth clapping about?
Yes.
All you said was, all you said, and I like this gonna play well on YouTube. But all you said was, what the hell did you, Jay? It didn't even stick. What did you?
Listen.
Why don't you own an apartment building?
He said,
I'm serious right now. Let me show you a path that could change your life, your financial future. My name is Tyler Devereaux, and I'm going to show a sneak peek right now of some of the game-changing strategies with you that I've been able to use in my life.
$5 million to get the school done with no stipulations. Who in the auditorium believes that? Nobody believes that, bitch. That's why.
Here's the part.
What did you just say?
You're missing.
That's what it was.
You're missing.
Yeah, okay, so listen. Well, I'm telling you,
you're missing the spirit.
Okay,
of it.
go ahead.
White man, give me $5 million. Right? I build the school with $5 million. Y'all come to the grand opening. Y'all gonna be happy. Y'all gonna celebrate. But when you go home, in the back of your mind, you're still saying, white people did this for us again. Do you understand?
Ain't nobody saying that.
No. Yes.
These people lying.
It speaks to the spirit.
Ain't nobody, even if it speaks to the spirit.
No.
Go ahead.
Hear me out, good brother. It speaks to the spirit. You know why? 90% of all black institutions are financed or owned by white people.
People don't even know that.
Yes, we do.
Most people don't. Most people, this crowd may, because this is a college HBCU type. Yes, most people don't even think of it like that.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, if the mission is more important than you, how you feel, how you think, my emotions, then why isn't this money, even if they kill me about it, but the school get to go get up and running? I just don't understand that.
Have you ever heard the statement, the journey is just as important as the destination?
Yeah.
How we get the school done is just as important as getting the school done. Let me ask you a question. How do I open up a school called Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy? 2 black men who believed in self-determination, but I let a white man build the school for me. How do I tell the boys that you can do this on your own? You don't need white people. You don't need nobody but your own community. How can I say that?
Do you truly believe that?
Absolutely.
Do you think do you truly believe that it'll happen off the backs of only us?
It already has.
Right.
It's not open yet, so it hasn't happened.
Yeah, well, it will be once we get the certificate of occupancy, but it already had. Yeah.
So I'm saying, but so you've done this. So this got to be the first school without white involvement.
Definitely in 100 years since Marcus Garvey, and probably the first ever that was financed exclusively by the African diaspora. Every black community on earth donated to FDMG.
When did you globalize your movement? Because it wasn't that way at first.
No, I was always Pan-African, and so it was always global. It just took a while for my message to get around to the continent.
I feel like you started at some point going super Pan-African. Like I thought you was always conscious. From the gate. No, I'm saying I ain't speaking about in your spirit. I'm speaking about in your communication.
No, the message was always Pan-African.
It was always so even on those DVDs. Yes. Now every time I see you talk, I hear Pan-African.
Always from the beginning.
Okay, so I must have missed that. It seemed like I think started to evolve.
It's been Pan-African.
This is something I've always wanted to ask you. Where do you get this from? And I'm gonna do a quick Dr. Umar impression. All right, and I want you to tell me where you got this from. So you'll be on live, right? Say Dr. Umar's on live, and you'll be like, "Good morning, brothers and sisters. You know, today we will make sure that we get everything we need to get done. Good morning today, brothers and sisters. Good morning today, brothers and sisters. Good morning today, brothers." You'll give them 4 or 5 of them, 3 of them. Okay, what is that? Is that you thinking? Is that you? What is that?
I do that.
Because I've adopted that. I want you to know. Yeah, effective. Yeah. It's effective.
The brain is the creature of repetition.
Yes.
Not truth. Repetition.
Yes.
Right.
Program.
So I say it 3 times. The points I really want them to get, I repeat it 3 times because repetition is how you condition the unconscious. So
right. Dividendsapparel.com. Dividendsapparel.com. That's dividendsapparel.com. Whatever you do, make sure you create a positive impact today and later. Do it capital.
For once to understand, a second time to understand, and the third time to overstand.
I knew that wasn't you stumbling. I knew it was something there.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, yo, he just, I know him. And we speak and we don't really have to. So I'm saying when you do that, I said, oh, it's technique. There's something there. Yeah. Who did you study in regards to speaking? Because speaking is such a talent that people don't really understand. They don't even know how hard this is for us to just be doing this. Who did you study?
I never really studied anyone. I guess indirectly, Garvey and Douglas would be the main 2, obviously. But most of our leaders were great orators, you know, so I've listened to all of them, but I never patterned myself after anyone or anything like that. You know what I mean? It just came natural.
You took nothing from any you took technique. You ain't took no technique from no one.
If there was any technique,
because see, you got the pointing. Bro. I'm high level. Listen, this how I make money. So I'm high level examining speakers, right? The pointing, the everything. I'm watching it all. So I'm saying, this is a developed thing. This isn't something you can walk off the porch with. So I wonder.
I think some of us are born with it, though. I think some of us are born with it. I think the great ones like Garvey, Douglas, Dr. King, you can't teach that.
You can nurture it. I ain't saying teach it. And that's what I mean. Like, you can't teach it. I'm not saying teach it.
Right.
Because teaching will speak.
Teach people how to speak, though.
Yes, but not on this level.
Right.
So I'm saying when I'm peeping what you're doing, understand I've already identified that I'm watching the best speakers in the world because this is how I make my money, right? So I ain't even talking about the rest of those guys. I'm saying the highest level of communication, right? You, the Farrakhan's, the people that I look at and say, oh, all right, let's pull a notepad out, get some of that technique, because there's breath control, there's pausing, there's repeating, there's face, you know, there's so much that's happening.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering who deposited anything.
The only technique that I'm conscious of having borrowed from my predecessors is the need to pause occasionally.
Yes,
because
so important.
I'll just go.
Yeah,
and I won't stop. So I consciously try to remember to pause.
Yes,
and that's probably more of a Frederick Douglass thing than anything else.
Because people have to take it in. Even with me, like, see, because even with me, when you try to get into that vibe, you know, it's like at some point I gotta start talking to you like you listening. You know what I'm saying? And some people, they just talking. You got to talk to somebody like they're listening.
Yes.
You know, and sometimes when I need emphasis on something, I need to lay there for that. Like I even in our communication today, you would say something like, for your Black liberation, and you'll just let that live. And I think those techniques, I just want you to know that people are watching those things, and you're pouring into people indirectly just by,
you know, spiritually, right? There's about 5 different major spiritual gifts. You have your clear cognizance. That's when information from the universe is downloaded automatically into your mind. You know it, but you don't know where you learned it. That's clear cognizance. When I speak, not all the time, but sometimes, clear cognizance will take over. And I'm saying things about things I've never learned nowhere. So it's coming directly from the ancestors. And I'll go back and look at a clip and say, how did I say that? And I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So there's sometimes you get into a zone where it's not even you.
Oh man, I love those zones.
You found that's the ancestors.
Man, them zones there. When if I can get in a pocket on these boys, it's nothing like it.
That's what I'm saying. It's not all the time, and you never know when it's coming.
And it's magic. And you feel it as a speaker, as someone. You say,
and you know when you win.
Yeah, I got in my bag.
Like, I'm not stopping.
Yeah.
Take a break. We ain't taking no break.
No, we can't.
The ancestors.
Yeah.
And the one thing I learned about public speaking taught me more than anything else. We have no control over the outcome. Because I walk into a certain lecture, I'm like, I'm gonna tear this up tonight. It's the right sound, right building, right this, and it'll be a regular lecture. And then I'll go somewhere where I'm like, okay, this is just gonna be a regular little talk. It's my classics. All of my classics were unintentional. Every one. The ones that people love, I'm like, damn, I never even thought that night was gonna be that special. And it's never up to us.
Yeah, and this is important for the young content creators because they're watching us. But here's the thing too. As I'm going further and further, I just did Invest Fest with 20,000 people, right? And so when you come out and it's that many people,
shout out
you look around like, what is this? Right? And it's like you blow a circuit or you blow a fuse, you get it back. But for a brief second, it's almost like, what? Like June. It's like everything you was thinking, your thought process, but it eventually comes, it eventually comes back. Do you find yourself ever being in that mode? Because you speak so much now, I don't think you may find yourself in it.
For me, the best speech is the first time they saw you, because there's no expectations. You feel me? If I'm going I'm going to Cameroon, Africa next week, right? I was in Brussels, Belgium last week. I've never been to Brussels. So there's no pressure because I know they know me from social media, but they never felt me in the person.
Right.
This is no pressure.
Right.
You know what the pressure is? When I've been in Nashville 10 times and y'all came back to see me that 11th, that's pressure because y'all know what to expect. Y'all seen it. And I got to give y'all a new, fresh message and be even more dynamic I was the previous 9 times.
Yeah.
So some people would say the more you come back to a city, the easier. Not for me. It's the harder.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like a place like Chicago where I spend a lot, New York where I spend a lot, it's pressure.
Yeah.
Because not only do I got to have a new message, I got to grab you
every time
better than I did the last time.
And what I'm trying to do, right, because I'm ascending so fast. So I'm trying to figure out now I'm conscious about this as I'm getting, because it's so much money on the line. And anybody watching me, I got millions of people watch. I need y'all to know this. Pay attention to whatever you're doing. Right now, man, I'm finding myself trying to understand when I get those zones, I literally try to backtrack what that day was. Like, did I place myself there? Was it something I done before the show? Was it, even though I know it's probably not because it never reenacts itself. Yeah. But it's like I'm conscious on trying to grab that or create that environment that puts me. Have you found anything like that for you? That something that puts you into a place where, like me, I went back the other day and I'm gonna give you a second. Before you came, I'm trying to fish. What is that gets my brain like? Because sometimes, dude, my brain will go and it's like I'm on another. Yeah. It's another frequency. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to ask you.
I believe when you get to a certain level within your spiritual development, myself included, you'll be able to activate it at will. The reason we can't activate it at will yet, we not at that frequency yet. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you get to that frequency, you'll be able to activate it at will, that zone.
Yes.
It's the athlete too, where they shoot a shot and can't miss.
Right.
Right for 5 minutes, I can't miss.
Yeah, I'm on.
They in that zone.
Yes.
You went to you went into your super conscious mind.
Yes.
Right? But we have to get there through the spiritual.
Is there anything that gets you there? Like, I seen you, is there anybody that maybe they argue with you and they play, who is it? He think or they insult your intelligence, or they...
Not, because it's all based on divine timing.
It is.
Right. So from an African perspective, we exist in two worlds. We exist in the physical and we exist in the spiritual at the same time. We can't see what's happening in the spiritual. It could have been within the spiritual design for this day for you to access your God consciousness for that. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
Because remember, we got our own plans. Our ancestors got a plan too.
Right.
And then God got a plan too.
Right.
So we think that when we wake up, we're just living our life as we want. No, your ancestors got a hand in it because you are a reincarnation of them. And then the Most High, the universe has a design of its own. And this is why when you hear like Dr. King say, I want to do God's will, you got to tap into that. You got to tap into that. The highest form of expression is when what you want is the exact same thing God wants you to have.
Not only does Kittle have millions of design assets and templates that you can customize any way you want, but our intuitive Kittle AI will help you create stunning images, clip art, even vector images.
That's divine consciousness, and that's the purpose of life. And that's why I think that we as Black people never get to where we're supposed to be, brothers and sisters, until we divorce ourselves from all of this European materialism that we swallowed up, because we have become more materialistic than the Caucasian. We are literally worshiping money. And there's why would God help us get free? Really help us take back over the world as we once ran it, if all we're going to do is replicate European culture? Does that make any sense to you? God is not going to help you. Why would he get rid of the white man so the Black man can replicate the white man? You have to go back to being who you are. And when you go back to being who you are, that's when supreme consciousness will come and say, okay, my children, you ready? Let me put you back on the throne. We do not go back on the throne. We do not until we recover our African minds.
I seen you going viral. You had an argument with a couple of guys, and shout out to them. I don't know their name.
Daily Wrap-Up crew, the Young Brothers?
Yeah, kind of a debate.
Shout out to the Daily Wrap-Up.
Yeah,
good Young Brothers.
Yeah,
too.
Shout out to those guys. I think they was up in New York or something, right?
New York.
Yeah, shout out to WTMF Studios as well. They're my people. But that discussion was about the Black woman being framed as masculine,
yes,
as unsupportive in a lot of ways, and just a number of different things.
And choosing the wrong mate.
Choosing the wrong mate.
And those brothers feeling like, why do I have to settle for a woman who had a child by a man who was less than his best?
Right.
And my argument was real simple. If we as Black men were on our job, meaning we're taking responsibility for the development of all the Black boys in Nashville, then that young lady could never choose a wrong mate, because we would never allow a wrong mate to exist. So whenever a Black man says, it ain't my fault she got a baby by Pookie, Pookie shouldn't even exist. Because
you don't put that on the same white people that we put the rest of this stuff on? The same white people that we put all the systematic shit on. We don't put that on them?
Let me tell you why. They might have created it, but they're not solving none of your problems. We have to solve our own problems. And like I told those young brothers, Black women would give us so much respect if we only did one thing: take control of the boys. If we just did that, if we just went around to all the sisters who ain't got a man in the house, how many sons you got? You got 2. How many you got? I got 1. How many you got? I got 5 boys. We got them. We got them. We going to the school meetings. We going to be with them after school. We checking the homework. We doing rites of passage. We taking them gun training, camping. We got them. If we just took the boys, our sisters be all right with us.
And that's in a perfect world. I agree with that. But
why the world got to be perfect for us to do that?
Because, again, the Black man is under attack, right?
But that don't stop me from helping the youngin.
Well, it do if you can't multitask. See, everybody ain't got the kind of
multitask when we be chasing that ass.
Yeah, but that kind of multitask is self-satisfying. right? That's a selfish, self-satisfying multitask. So that's a bit different. You're asking people to multitask and give, not get.
Right.
So it's a different circumstance.
I see what you said.
Right. When we telling someone that's under attack to, hey, not only think about yourself, think about that other individual over there that ain't yours, that ain't got nothing. And I'm with you on the overarching goal, but I want to deal with the reality of it. And there's a quote that says, don't wish things to be how you want them to be, wish them to be how they are, because that's the reality you live in. Things will be what they are, no matter what. You can't change that, Umar. We can do all. You can't change it. It is what it is, bro. We can't look at it for what we want it to be.
Question for you.
Go ahead.
Here's what I think, and I agree with mostly what you said there. Here's what I think. I think we as black men, and I'm talking to all the brothers in here, although not all of you are guilty of what I'm going to say, but I'm speaking to us as a brotherhood. I believe we have gotten so comfortable scapegoating white supremacy that we don't want to take responsibility for anything in the community ourselves. Are y'all following me? That's where we at.
Somebody, yeah.
That's where we at as men. It's like we don't want no responsibility. It's either the black woman's fault or it's the power structure's fault. What the hell are we going to do?
I didn't say black woman.
No, I'm not saying you.
Yeah, I'm talking about for my audience.
Right. But I'm saying in the general conversation, the narrative, either the black woman is the problem or the white power structure.
That's most of your conversation.
No, sir.
Not the black woman, but definitely the white power structure.
Cause the problems, but the solution is ours to make.
Okay, so let's not push these together.
Right.
No, they go together.
Right. Well, let's deal with them separately. So we can have a clear understanding of what. Because when you mash them up, I don't know which one we're talking about.
I got you.
Right.
I got
you. The problem is the power structure.
Yes, sir.
The solution lies in our hand.
Period.
But that the power structure is still attacking the black male. Yes or no?
That's true.
Okay, so again, if you don't have the ability to multitask, when do you expect the black male to be self-preservation?
Who said we can't multitask?
Everybody can't, Dr. Umar. We can't say everybody can save children.
We find time to party.
Saving children is different than partying.
We find time to go on vacation. That's an excuse. We don't care enough to do it, and we need to be honest and say that.
You think the same skill set it takes for me to go stand in the club is the same skill set it takes for me to help a child?
No. It's a different skill set.
Yeah. But I'm speaking of skill set. Right. You're talking intention. Right. I'm saying people don't even have the skill set to raise their own children. You asking them to help other children when they can't even raise, they ain't even got the know-how to handle their own household.
Okay. That means those of us who know how, show them brothers how. We operate as a brotherhood.
So that's a different conversation. Instead of casting that wide net and saying that all black men, you niggas, excuse me, you guys they put the work in to make an environment to where these people can. So I'm saying when we take that approach, we don't live in what I would consider to be reality and say that everybody can't multitask.
But here's my pushback then.
Go ahead.
Then we need to stop telling our women to respect us as men. We need to stop telling our women to stop expecting us to behave as men. If we're going to say can't, because can't should not be in a man's vocabulary and definitely not in our collective consciousness.
Can you open the school tomorrow?
No, but I can in a month.
Okay, I get what you said. So, but that's still hoping. Hope ain't a strategy.
It ain't hope. No, we're not hoping to open the school. We're waiting on a certificate of occupancy.
You're not giving me a deadline on this big broadcast saying in a month this school will be open.
Physically, yes. All we're waiting for is the certificate.
But it won't be.
I don't know how long the city gonna take to give me that paper. That's the next step. You see.
Okay. So then,
right, but it's not a hope. It's just a matter of time. They got to give us the paper. Because all the renovations are done, everything's inspected and approved. You see what I'm saying? So it's not a hope, it's just when. When are they going to give us the paper?
Right.
They can't hold off forever, then we got to get the lawyers involved. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But I just think that we as men are not recognizing.
For you to say, that's a bold statement, bro. Like, as a man, you can't have can't in your vocabulary.
We should not when it comes to saving our boys.
Now,
that's a different. See, this is how good you
talking
are.
about our boys.
Yeah, but this is how good you are.
Man, as a human being, if you want to make something out of yourself, you should eliminate the word can't out of your fucking vocabulary and try to substitute it with something else and push yourself to go get what the fuck you supposed to do and do it capital. Can't cannot be in your vocabulary if you're trying to do it capital and create a positive impact a day and later. Do it better than the biggest. You got to do that. You got to know that. I hate when a bitch motherfucker keep telling me she can't do something. She can't do something. I hate when a bitch tell me that. I swear to God, I tell her she need to get it out her vocab. She need to think about another word and take that out. Substitute can't with try. I try. You know what I'm saying? That give you a extra brain power to think about some shit. Make that shit happen for yourself. Like eliminate that shit. If you trying to do anything and be successful and beat anything, you should eliminate that motherfucking word, man or women. That's how I feel about this shit.
You cast a wide net and say, can't as a man, they shouldn't even respect us as a man if we saying can't and it's in our vocabulary. As it pertains to our boys, that's a different.
To our boys,
okay.
And as it pertains to almost anything a man should be expected to do for his community.
See, I can't. I gotta live in a space where I know everybody can't be everything.
Then we gotta stop telling women to see us as kings. Then we can't have it both ways. You can't say respect me as the God of the community, and then on the flip side, I can't do nothing about that shit. And you can't do that. You can't have it both ways. We as men got to make up our mind.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I'm trying to take it in. It's just for me again. I don't know.
And when you say multitask, it bothers me because black women have been multitasking for 75 years.
Yeah, and that's 100%.
Raising the kids, paying the bills.
What they got to do with
college,
black men?
open a business. Huh?
What does the ability for a black woman to be superior in that way, right?
Okay.
To be able to multitask in that way have to do with black men.
Why
we don't share all of the
same.
We don't share all of the same. We don't share all of the same attributes.
Oh.
I'm not saying that black men in general can't do it. I'm saying when we say black men as a whole is responsible for the environment, because all black men can't, I think that's what the problem is.
So then here's my question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If black men can't be expected to be responsible for the development, the nurture, and the growth of black boys, what in the hell can we be entrusted
Other
with?
black boys. I'm saying that most black men, at least that I know, especially coming from this is what I'm saying, right. Actively listening, right? We just was speaking about how Sexy Red and all of these people are in circumstances in which the first priority is saving their family, even at the detriment. Right. You just said, you feel me? Even at the detriment of the community, right? We just spoke about, and I want to take Sexy Red out of it because it ain't about her, but we just spoke about female rap and them promoting a lifestyle that they may not even adopt and how that's detrimental. Right. But because self-preservation is kicked in, somehow it ain't their fault by rapping that.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
If black men were being the men that our community needs, would there be a Suki Hana or a Sexy Red?
No. Why not?
They wouldn't
exist. Let's elaborate before we. Why not?
The circumstances that gave rise to those two beautiful black women having to engage in the art form that they are in order to take care of themselves and their children, those circumstances that gave birth to this reality would have never been allowed to fester. Men control the structure and the set boundaries. We don't do that. And if we're going to say we can at least be responsible for the boys, if we're going to tell black women that we can't do nothing with our boys, what else should she be willing to trust us with?
Do you push that off on, what about the boy's father?
Okay,
you push it to the community, right? What about his father?
Okay, that's not our culture. Our culture is collectivism. If you're not there, I got to be. It's that simple. The reasons don't even matter. He ain't there. I got to take his place. I am because we are. We are because I am. See, we like to scapegoat individuals because we don't want no collective accountability.
How many kids have you personally, and I don't mean over the phone?
Wow.
How many?
Too many to count.
A lot of them.
Too many to count.
Do you think you've touched more children than Deion Sanders?
I think it's very possible that I have. And I'm going strictly off of the feedback I get from young men, right? Through the will of God, because I give the grace to the Lord.
Right.
I get messages that sometimes make me cry from young men. You're the reason I didn't take my life. You're the reason I didn't leave my family. You're the reason I finished college. You're the reason I came back home. Sometimes I get these testimonies from these brothers, man. I feel like they're making it up because there's no way you're telling me I influenced your life that much. You see what I'm saying? And these are the ones who I've never even direct, but then you have the ones who I've directly mentored, spent time with, and assisted. You see what I'm saying? And that's why when we go back to the money thing with the whole podcast piece, and I need to look into that because I need that money to build more schools.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I have to do it for more schools.
And this is why I say if the mission is, it's a lot of money even being left out there. That's just left on the ground.
Need for the mission.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Yeah.
But I was just going to say that's one of the reasons why the money never really factored mightily into my vision, because I get paid back so much through the spirit for what I give to the people.
And see
that sometimes that blinds you or distracts me from even looking at the X's and the O's.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because it's like, damn, if I'm able to do that, I could give a damn about the money. You see what I'm saying?
And see,
but we need the money for the mission.
And also, but see, that's still that's you fueling the motivation. That's what I'm saying. The motivation is important, man.
Oh, yes.
And so you live in that spot. Like you, Dion, me, a lot of people clips go viral of like.
She said, why you keep bringing up Dion?
because I'm a fan of Dion and that's my guy.
Yes, sir.
You know? It's okay, right? My show.
Born in Colorado.
Yeah, no, shout out to Dion, shout out to whoever asked that too. But what I'm saying is that and again, I'm doing this because now let me address that. Give me a second. The reason I continue to bring up Deion Sanders with Dr. Umar Johnson is because there's a fight amongst black boys to understand which one of these guys and why there's infighting going on between these guys. Seems like you have colorful conversations surrounding some of his moves, and then half of black coaches riding with him. So my job is to try to comb through this and see if we can figure out what the issue is. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is for me. I want the information. I'm curious. Deion is somebody I know, I look at, he's motivating people. You somebody I know, you're motivating people. We talk all this black power stuff. I'm trying to figure out why is there any kind of disagreement about his mission, your mission, because you were the same guy on a 10-year mission to build a school. So I look 9-year mission to build a school. So I look at Deion like he's on a mission. So that's why I want to come through it.
And we all hustling
That's
on the
my
mission
thing.
every day. Every day we hustle.
I want to have that conversation with you, and we had it. We just stopped him because someone brought it up.
For me, my biggest concern for black men at this time is I feel like we've grown extremely selfish. I don't think black men have the type of spirit that our ancestors had. You know, you got to realize we come from a legacy where black men gave their life for the community. I mean, literally widowed their wife and left their children fatherless for the people. And I look at us now where I can't even stay at a black school and help build this up. You know, I got to run off to the white one, and I'm just not seeing the spirit of sacrifice that black men used to have. It is bothering me because our women do deserve better, and we can't give them what the white man gives the white woman, but we could damn sure do a better job than we are. And I think we're scapegoating racism too much because we don't want to man up.
What is a complete man, in your opinion?
On a basic level,
yes,
we got to protect and provide. I don't think we're doing either, especially when it comes to children. You got men who do it individually. Remember, we're talking as a community.
See, that's
2/3 of our children are being raised by single mothers. 2/3. No matter how you cut that cake, You can't say black men are on their job. Now, one brother might say, well, I got my kids. Okay, but how many children are not your biological children that you're looking out for? Because it ain't just about your family. It's about us as a people. We have to get back to the weism and away from the meism. The meism is killing us.
Let's talk about fundraising. What is the biggest donation you received?
$5,000 from a queen mother.
The
in New
weism
York
been
City,
killing
I
me.
believe.
I'm finna get to the meism.
That was the largest single
I've
donation.
been doing the
That's
weism
a hell,
for too
that's
long.
a hell of
I
a
ain't gonna
thing,
cap
man.
to you.
Yeah, largest.
And it was from a woman.
A woman, an elder.
Wow.
Queen of 5,000.
Did you reach out to her? Did you ever meet her?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I thank extensively for doing that. Most of our donors are repeat donors, right? So everybody donates. I have elders who donate $10 faithfully every month. 10. Some of them did it for the whole 9 years.
So you built this basically off kibbles and bits.
Kibbles and bits.
Kibbles and bits.
Kibbles and bits.
Did you?
Would you be interested in collecting 5-figure paychecks for a few hours of work, helping me in your spare time?
When was the first time you put that into your not vocabulary, but into your whole thing?
What?
Hit the cash up, because at first that wasn't
well,
even a
when
thing.
I first took the first donation in St. Louis, April of 2014, to try to get to St. Paul's College in Virginia, I didn't want to ask for the donations, man, because I had seen black pastors and leaders beg for money for years. And I said, I never want to be them.
Right.
But then I needed this school. So when I got up there, it was the most, I still feel how uncomfortable I felt that first donation.
Yeah.
And then I started getting other people to ask for the donation. So they would come and say, this is for Dr. Umar, FDMG. And then I just had to get over it and say, listen, your cause is right. You ain't stealing. You know what you're doing this for. You got to start asking.
But it feel nasty.
But guess what? I still don't ask for the money publicly.
Yeah.
It's still when I'm going live,
right?
Like at the lecture.
And see, because it's still got a feeling
even
attached
though
to it.
because I'm a very honest person,
right,
in that regard. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think I'll feel more comfortable once the school opened up,
right?
Because now people see. Because remember, we still got the Frederick Douglass High School right across the street. We got another school right there that we got to renovate too. So
how did you go through that with people saying, "Damn, man, I've been giving money for any"? Did you have anybody?
Well, most of the people who were saying they've been giving money, they weren't giving money. Donors don't complain, and haters don't donate. So the people you see on YouTube with all this critic, they're not the donors. They're the haters. You see what I'm saying? And see what really happened, just to give you a little bit of backstory, there was other people in the conscious movement who were raising money for different projects, and they wasn't able to raise much. So they hated on me because the people got behind my campaign. Because remember, they sabotaged my GoFundMe and everything. Oh man, they sabotaged everything.
Yeah, you lost the GoFundMe.
Yeah, we lost the GoFundMe.
How much money would you say you lost?
Damn.
Well, what happened was when GoFundMe decided to cancel our campaign. First of all, they said they needed proof that I didn't spend no money. I sent them everything, even told them to call the bank, talk to the manager. Every penny was accounted for. They canceled me anyway. So it had nothing to do with whether I was still or not. Y'all just didn't want me on the platform.
Right.
But what happened was, I'll never forget it. I looked at the fundraiser and I saw GoFundMe started refunding the donations. Nobody asked for their money back. Why are you refunding the donation? So that's when I had to hurry up and shut that down and start another account and keep on going. GoFundMe was trying to undo all them years of raising money because white people don't want you.
Did you lose any, like?
Yeah, I'm sure. So some of the donations was definitely refunded.
But you never lost in whole, like, yo, 20 grand. Damn, they just snatched that.
That's some fuck niggas.
Nah, I don't think it was that much.
Yeah.
I don't think it was. That was like 2016, I want to say, when that happened.
Don't want a nigga to be
17.
Great, bro.
But I don't think it was that much.
What do you say to people who say you're too hard on the black male?
Well, they say I'm too hard on everybody, not just the black male.
In specific, the black male, though. Because I'm going to be honest. Black men have came to me and said that. Like, man, he kind of be on us, man. Like, it's like, this shit don't be making sense. Yeah, but I think that there's a disconnect with some of the understanding that you give the black woman in regards to the systematic stuff, and it seems like the black man doesn't get that.
I think with some black men, because most of our brothers, they ride with me, but some black men have trouble understanding that although I have just as much criticism for the black woman, I am not going to repudiate and criticize my sister in a public space. because black women are special. And because they are special, we need to treat them in a special way. And what these ninjas do is they'll get on YouTube, criticize, condemn, and cancel black women in the face of every other race watching you do it. No other man goes public and condemns his women the way black men do. And I'm not going to co-sign that because it's wrong. You don't see Chinese men going live talking about everything wrong with Chinese women. When you ever see that? When you ever see the Latino men go live and totally crucify Latino women? We do it. And you know what's dangerous about it? Who the most sexually trafficked? Black women. Who the most raped? Black women. Domestically abused? Black women. So you mean to tell me our women got it the worst? And on top of that, we're going to go public and tell the world we don't even care about them or want them no more. I got the same condemnation, but I will not do that to her in public. We got to have a stand.
Now, does that, okay, let's talk about this. Last week or the other week, we saw the girl with the swollen face.
I don't condemn all black women.
You came out and you said that, let me frame this a little different.
That I don't.
Last week, there was a story that came out with a black woman that had a reaction on her face. She alleged that some people beat her up for not giving her a number. You came out about that and kind of was critical about those men. That came out to be a hoax.
We don't know that. Some people say it's not a hoax.
I've seen several pictures and videos. I mean, could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I've seen several videos of her trying this, like several GoFundMe's year after year, where she's literally, oh, these guys, and this first time it's been that crazy, look that big, but she's had smaller ones where she's pulled this off before.
I don't know, because I put up a post that a sister sent me and said, you need to hold her accountable because she made this up. And then everybody else started commenting under this that it wasn't made up, and this is what you need to look at. So I still don't know what the truth is.
But let's, for the sake of conversation, if you were wrong, do you think that, man, I probably should have looked a little more into that? Do you ever,
because there's nothing wrong with holding black men to a standard of behavior in public when it comes to our sisters.
That wasn't even there?
Well, remember now, even if it didn't happen to her, black women are being choked out and murdered by their black male lovers on a regular basis. It's still an issue.
This wasn't that situation.
It may have not been, but my point is I'm not going to draw the energy back, because that awareness that's coming from my commentary is still very much needed out there, because black women are being abused and ignored.
So at the expense of the black man, though, because I'm telling you, black men are, not that they're not riding with you. I want to be clear. They're still riding with you, but they're whispering, man, I don't know what that was about.
No, they want me to beat the women up. I'm not going to do it. I tell them right now, I'm never going to do that.
No, when you're wrong about nobody let her get beat up. And also, are you asking black men, I'm saying let's entertain it for the sake of conversation. And also, are you asking black men to put their lives on the line for would you put your life on the line for a woman you don't know and leave your children?
Black woman?
Yeah, black woman.
We don't have a choice. That's part of being a man.
Right now. Yes. And leave your daughters without a father.
Dr. King did it. Malcolm did it.
No, I'm asking Dr. Umar.
Yes, it's part of who. Nobody wants to die. I don't have a death wish, but I understand as a man, my obligation is to every black woman, not just the one I'm married to and the ones I gave birth to.
They just come with
sounds good. I like that.
It got to be in your DNA. You got to know this shit in your
definitely,
DNA.
I mean, because I'm saying,
if you don't feel that shit in your DNA, you might not be a man. You might be a bitch. You're supposed to feel that. You're supposed to feel that in your DNA. You're supposed to know that in your DNA.
Some of them were taken.
If a black
some black women will teach you as a young black male. Now here's a conundrum. Some black women will teach you as a young black kid.
Sipping the wrong
don't you jump in that. It ain't got nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
You need to make it home to little tie and little run.
And I think that's appropriate for the children. But for grown men, it's not appropriate.
So he needs to rewire himself as his teaching. His teaching was, you mind your business, they bother your family, then that's one thing. But
what if we had that mentality when the Ku Klux Klan was terrorizing neighborhoods back in the Willie Lynch days? What if we said, I'm only going to worry about the Klan when they knock on my door? They would have picked us apart. We had to organize. Black people are no longer used to organizing because of our self-hate and selfishness. The only way we come out of this is by working together. That's it. And even though we talk about the celebrities, we might as well leave them out the conversation because they're not going to be a major part in what we do until after we do it. No black celebrity has ever played a major financial role in any of our movements. So I don't know why black people keep looking to them. We don't own them. White people own them. They are corporate products. LeBron, Dion, they are owned by the white power structure. They're not coming over here. They will after we win. They'll come drop some money off later, but they won't be there in the beginning. We got to do this ourselves. And we should, because we are $2 trillion people. Black people have more money than any single celebrity except maybe Oprah. We got more money than everybody else.
Is that on a yearly, annually?
Annually.
Yeah.
We $2 trillion. Oprah not worth $2 trillion. Puffy ain't $2 trillion. Jay-Z ain't worth $2 trillion. We $2 trillion. So why is the people worth $2 trillion?
LeBron could drop goddamn 5 M quietly.
Why is the people worth $2 trillion? Keep trying to scapegoat billionaires
in Cleveland.
You see, and in their defense, you know what I say? In their defense, how you gonna expect a billionaire to sacrifice $1 billion when you wouldn't even sacrifice a couple $100? It's not fair. They're not. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now take my school. No celebrity has donated to FDMG. And I know plenty of celebrities.
No celebrity.
Not one has made a donation. And I know plenty of them.
Right? That's what I mean about the brand tampering. Do you think it's because of some of the...
I think they're fearful of my message. I believe they are afraid because most of them got white people in their circles. Very few of them have a total black team. Most of them got white folks running around. And I think they're afraid of being associated with my name.
They don't have to be...
I don't see... I mean,
they can
I
be
can
silent
see...
partners.
But once the small school gets up and running,
they can have people.
Some of them might donate because they see I was serious. Because I think some of them was also influenced by the hate.
That's what I'm saying. That's the brand tampering of people saying, "Hey, this is a scam. Hey, this might not be doing that."
Jaylen Brown,
like,
you know, Jaylen Brown do that,
but I ain't supporting it. Like I really don't know
Jaylen
what
Brown
going on.
got that
And he hard. I like how he talk. I mess with him. But on this side, I really don't know what the guy doing. You dig what I'm saying? He might be talking about Snow Bunny never and all kind of. Like I don't know what the guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's sometimes I be thinking like, you know, why won't these celebrities give? Because again, everybody knows.
Well, let's be honest though. It ain't just me. They don't really give to black community anything. They do United Way, Democratic Party, you know,
because they want access to power. You don't got no power.
They want proximity to what? No, I got a lot of power. They just don't want my kind of power.
So
I got black power. They want access to white power.
What happened to black power? It seemed like that word evolved to like woke or conscious or like, and it lost people. It's like they split it up. It used to be black power, and it's just like a group of us. And now it's like you got your conscious folk, you got your these folk.
You know why? Because a lot of black people in the conscious movement don't want to be considered black or African. So woke and all of that did evolve. You're correct. Because I don't want to be associated with blackness or Africanness.
And black power.
It was a self-hate thing. It's the same way Pan-Africanism became black nationalism. Why did Pan-African? I love you too, mama. Be blessed now. Oh, tomorrow, just so y'all know, I'm speaking at Tennessee State New Residence Hall Conference Room, 10 a.m. to 12. If any of y'all want to come, it's going to be a Q&A session.
She loves you, Dr. Umar.
It's free. So just pull up. Bring bunnies, bring whatever you want to bring.
Break bunnies.
But black nationalism was a knockoff from Pan-Africanism because after Garvey got deported, most of the black national leaders who came after them wasn't interested in building a relationship with Africa. So that's how the Pan-African nationalism became the black. We've always had a problem wanting to be black. That's why you got black people running around now saying they're not from Africa at all. I'm Native American. I've been here since the beginning. Well, that's absolutely ridiculous because every scientific study has proven unequivocally, indisputably, that all humanity originated in Africa. So there's no such thing as you didn't come from Africa because everybody did. You see? But the self-hate is so that you got Negroes say, I'm a Cherokee, I'm a Choctaw, I'm a this or that. Don't get me wrong. We have some of those bloods in us because we mixed with them. But having a little bit of Cherokee in you don't stop you from being an African. You don't find a white person with a great-great-grandparent from Africa, and now they no longer a Jew. They still a Jew, They just got a black grandfather somewhere. But when a Negro finds out he got some Caucasian blood, he stops being black completely. He's a total Italian. They won't even let his ass in the church.
Well, so this will be probably our last sequence. I want to talk about Trump and specifically the charges that he's facing. What's your feelings on all of the various indictments that Donald Trump
I got a couple. Number one, a lot of this is being done by the Democratic Party because they don't want Trump available to run because there's a strong chance he wins. And now that they've turned him into a political martyr, they have just made his electoral base that much stronger. They just gave him votes by doing that. So
why don't the old power structure understand that has an adverse reaction to like arrest this guy when he's been Teflon to these, like all of these little attempts to like smear him? They don't work for him.
You know what? Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up right though, man. I was gonna finish it out all the way to the end, but I ain't fucking with politics right now. And this has been another real nigga reaction. Hold up. Yeah, I ain't. Oh shit, the camera band went off. Damn. But anyway, real nigga reaction. Y'all know what it is. Home Inc. TV, The Lit House, Everyday Shit Media, sponsored by dividendsapparel.com. Whatever you do, make sure you do it capital. Create a positive impact today and later. Fuck them haters. Get your paper straight like that. We're going to end it just like that, man. My camera went dead. I got a job in the morning. Catch y'all next time. Remember, let the light within you shine bright. And always do it capital. Create a positive impact today and later. Fuck them haters. Get your paper straight like that. Always remember, real niggas do what they want to do. Bitch niggas do what they can. Hoe ass motherfuckers gonna talk about it. And fuck niggas gonna hate regardless. I promise you that.